In this video, I will teach you how to do the T-stitch, and you can see I've done the stitch here for the background of this ornament. This stitch can also sometimes be called the woven stitch when it's a little bit larger, so I will show you that too. But this is pretty easy to do. You basically are going to start with just like a regular tent stitch from the lower left going to the upper right as you normally would. And it doesn't really matter if you start from the right or from the left. Whatever makes most sense to you is totally fine. But then so you do it over that first sort of canvas intersection. Then you're gonna skip the next one and go to the one after that. And you're gonna continue down the row in that fashion for as many stitches as you need. So then when you go to your next row, you're going to start going the opposite direction. So you're not going to go in the intersection right below the stitch you just did. You're going to go to the one next to it, sort of like where you see an empty space. So for this row, you're going to switch directions and go from the bottom right to the upper left. And you can see that it made sort of a little T, which is why this is called the T-stitch. So you continue in that fashion. So you're going to skip the next hole like you did and go to this next one. I like to think of this stitch as just you are filling in the empty holes from the row above it. So you're going to continue on, skipping this one, going to the next one in that direction. And then when you go down to the row below, again, you sort of fill in the empty holes. So that's an empty hole. You're going to fill in the empty hole going back the original direction you did. So this stitch is pretty easy. It goes by really fast, and it's also great for a lot of open backgrounds, so sky, grass, things like that. Or if you want a background that doesn't, really is not screaming in your face or really busy, this is a great one because like I said, it goes fast, it takes up a lot of space, but it's not as time consuming as basket weave. So you're just going over a single canvas intersection. That's called the T-stitch. So when this is called the woven stitch is when you're going over an entire canvas hole, or basically two canvas intersections. So I'm starting there, the lower left, and going over two canvas intersections or one canvas hole to make it a little bit larger. So again, you're gonna skip this next hole, go to the next one, it's the same idea. And then when you go down below, you're going to say over two intersections, back kind of underneath that original stitch you did. So again, skipping that hole, going to this one, over two canvas intersections, underneath. So it's the same sort of idea and the same sort of motion, but it's just a little bit larger of a stitch. There you have it. This is, like I said, called the T-stitch when it's a little bit smaller, and the woven stitch when it's a bit larger, but it's, like I said, essentially the same thing. You can see the difference of how they kind of both show up there, but it's the same overall motion and direction changes and looks really different. So there you go. Let me know if you have any questions or if you'd like to see any more videos like this, and don't forget to please subscribe.